Before we jump into the episode today, I want to share something with you from my heart. First of all, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I really can't tell you how much your support means to me. We've been doing the podcast now for almost 4 years. I can't even believe it. And I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you that listens, shares an episode with your friends, sends me a DM or a text message letting me know how an episode resonated with you or any aha moments. Seriously, I couldn't be more grateful to be able to create this podcast. It has been such a blessing in my life, and I love hearing the ways it's been able to provide value in yours as well. One thing you might not know is how much work it takes to be consistent with a podcast. In fact, did you know that the majority of podcasts don't make it past episode number 10? And we are well beyond that. And it's just a lot thinking of the episodes, recording them, editing them, managing the guests, making sure that everything runs smoothly and gets uploaded consistently and regularly. And so that's why I have created an amazing opportunity for you to support the podcast monetarily. And in exchange for that, you will get exclusive premium subscriber content. So for as little as $3 a month, you can become a premium subscriber of the podcast. And every month I will upload new voice-guided workouts and breathwork meditation audio for you. So that way you can work out with me, coaching you in your ears. You can also take a moment to reduce your stress and relax and come down and ground down with one of my breathwork audios. So if that is on your heart to support the podcast for as little as $3 a month to become a premium podcast subscriber, I can't tell you how much that means to me and the growth of this podcast. I appreciate you. If you're interested, click the link in the description, become a premium podcast subscriber, new content every month, and while supplies last, I'll send you an exclusive podcast coffee mug so you can have your self-love and sweat coffee every morning. I appreciate you. Now let's get into the show. Welcome to Self-Love and Sweat, the podcast, the place where you'll get inspired to live your life unapologetically, embrace your perfect imperfections, break down barriers, and do what sets your soul on fire. I'm your host, Lunden Souza. Hey, have you grabbed your free Self-Love and Sweat monthly calendar yet? This calendar is so amazing. It comes right in your inbox every single month to help you have a little nugget of wisdom, a sweaty workout, a mindset activity, just a little something to help keep you focused and motivated and keep that momentum towards your goals. So every day when you get this calendar, you'll see a link that you can click that will lead to a podcast episode or a workout or something that will be very powerful and quick to read. And then you'll also see on the top left corner of every single day, there's a little checkbox in the calendar. And what that is that's for your one thing. You can choose one thing every month, or it can be the same, something that you want to implement, and make this something that you can easily implement, like daily meditation or getting a certain amount of steps or water, for example, and staying hydrated, and even taking your supplements. This can be something if you want to get more regular doing a particular habit and routine, you can choose what that checkbox means. So if you want your Self-Love and Sweat free monthly calendar delivered right to your inbox every month on the first of the month, go to lifelikeLondon.com/calendar, fill out the form really quickly, and you will have your calendar in your inbox within a few short minutes. That's lifelikeLondon, lifelikeLondon.com/calendar. Go get yours for free and enjoy this episode. Welcome back to the podcast. Today's guest is Mallory Adams. Mallory's passion for dance and fitness has inspired her to become a certified Dance to Fit instructor. Leaving the corporate world to be a full-time mom and pursue her dreams, she helps women feel confident through dance. I took Mallory's class when I was back in my hometown, she teaches like one town over from where I grew up. So it's like a 15-minute drive. And I went there and she has dance to fit and hit to fit. And I was like, okay, I'll take both classes. And they were both so wonderful. I got in such a great sweat. It was so much fun. The lights, the music, the dancing, the vibe, everything. And when we were finished talking, or when we were finished and then we were talking afterwards, we were just like, yeah, like, what's up? Like, what have you been up to? This was a great class, all the things. And you said something to me that really stuck out, which is where I want to start our conversation today and why I wanted to have you on the podcast. But you were like, yeah, I just started fitness coaching. And then as soon as I just like started being like more true to myself and like not worrying about what other people thought and just like really leading from like a place of authenticity, like my business started booming, my classes started filling up, like all the things. And so I'm so happy to have you here. And maybe we can start there. Like, what has your journey been? Because, yeah, I guess like all of us, you have that journey to get to where you feel like, oh, this is like me and what I meant to do and how I meant to do this. And how did you know that you weren't? And what was that journey kind of like for you?
I mean, you already know dancing was like everything to me in high school. I think from the age of like 3, as soon as I could walk, I wanted to dance. And any way I can incorporate that into inspiring others or helping others be a better person each day, I mean, why wouldn't you do that, right? And so I think once I realized, like, do dance, like dance every day. And so, yeah. And then I just started being me, and yeah, I don't know. So
just do dance, right?
yeah,
It just was so clear. Like, did
yeah.
you hear a voice? Were you dancing one day and you were like, oh yeah, it just clicked? Or what was that moment you just knew to do dance?
So, well, to be honest, okay, so long story, Dance to Fit is a brand like that. I did not create Dance to Fit. Dance to Fit is a brand. The owner of Dance to Fit is Jessica James Bass. I found her in 2017, and it was just like an aha moment for me. Like, let me jump on this program and start working out. Working out from home, it was hard, like, to do it alone. Like, who wants to dance by yourself, right? And so even with like knowing that I could incorporate dance and helping others, like that's when I was like, boom, I have to get certified through her and I have to just start it, because there was nothing like this around in Merced or Outwater or anywhere, right? I haven't seen it. And so I was like, I need to dance to fit it out. Yeah. So it was just something that I needed to do.
Yeah, I love that. Just knowing what you love and then seeing kind of a void and being like, wait, there's nothing offered here. Why can't I do it? Why can't I be the one to bring it into this space? So did you find her on Instagram and then go to like a class, or how did you do the process to get certified?
No. So unfortunately, I found her on YouTube. I didn't have Instagram. So actually, when I started Instagram, she was like one of the first people I followed. But so I followed her on YouTube, was doing she has like an app. So like taking the Dance to Fit app, did that until 2019. 2019, I got certified during COVID. I searched for places, locations to do my business, churches, schools. Everything was saying no. It was always a no, shut down because of COVID. Everybody was like, no, you can't do any type of fitness workouts here. So I did not take no for an answer. I was still working full time, but yeah, I was just not taking no for an answer. I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I knew that Dance to Fit and dancing every day was something that I wanted to do. So I continued to look, and then actually the place that I work at now, they found me. I didn't find them. So they reached out to me on Instagram, and I've been with them for over 2 years now. Been doing this. I ended up quitting my job once I had my son, because there was no way I could do both. It was either work in a corporate world and work 8 to 5 and go home to your son every night, or be able to push it through and be an entrepreneur and do this full time. So
yeah, I love that they found you. I mean, you attracted it. They attracted you. And I love the location. The place that Mallory teaches Dance to Fit at Hit to Fit at, it's like a
Nutrition.
health and wellness nutrition bar as well, right? So you walk in and it's like a bunch of open space, but you walk in the back and there's like these cute quotes and backdrop and everything. And there's a guy making smoothies and other nutrients and different things like that, right? I don't know if they make like a full food menu, whatever, but it's cool because you're like, have everything you need and it's all open. And then there's a mirror. And yeah, I mean, my experience was your class was so fun. It was so like, it just like, yeah, we talked about it afterwards. Like just, yeah, the feeling after we would dance at cheer, anytime after a dance, it's like, you're not thinking about anything. You're just like letting go. And there was so many fun dances. And Mallory is so high energy and the lights were down low and there was like other lights going on and you're doing, yeah, all types of hip hop and move. Like it was so much fun. And so I feel like to say, which I love, I didn't know this part about your story, so I'm learning things too, but to say that they found you, it's like, oh yeah, when I go to that place, it's perfect. Like, of course you would have, the lights turned off in the evening and women and men come to like dance and work out and do their thing. And so I feel like what a great place to have found you. And it's like perfect, right? And how has it grown? So from 2 years ago, like, are you like so impressed of like, how it's grown? Do you feel like you're making an impact?
Yeah, absolutely. Every day I meet new people. It's a lot of word of mouth. I wouldn't say that it was a lot of social media. I get a lot of referrals through clients and other friends and lots of clients. But and I love that. I love that people love coming to my space and they feel comfortable coming to my space. That's my biggest thing is like, we want a judgment-free zone, comfort, just all love, nothing but a good experience and a good vibe. You want to have that good part of your day and your workout should be that. So yeah, definitely. I just love it.
I loved when you coached the workout. I think you said something along those lines of like, no judgment. Like, let's just, we're working out, like you do you. And it was just like, you not only said that, but you could feel that. And that was really cool. Talk to us a little bit about leaving your corporate job. How do you know when it's time to jump? How do you know it was time to go?
And then
you're a mom.
Don't get me.
Well,
I'll start crying.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you don't mind,
I will
take a moment and then not talk about it and then not cry, but you could also shed some tears if you need to, or just say, but I feel like I ask, especially because you're also a mom, because I often talk about maybe leaps I've made in my life. I'm like, yeah, Linda, but you're only deciding for your damn self. Like you don't have, and I'm so interested in that because for me, that is motivating. And yeah. So what was that like, that leap? How did you know? And are you grateful you did it?
Yeah, absolutely. Best decision of my life. I worked at a job that treated me really horribly. So it was like 10 years of working 12 to 16-hour shifts, days and nights with no sleep. And I actually got a call from a lawyer right after I quit. A lawyer contacted me. I didn't contact them. I'm not in a lawsuit with my job. I decided to let it go because I'm at peace with what happened. But it was a lot of, I worked my butt off for 10 years and I did not love what I do. I worked at I worked at a bail bonds. So I was bailing out criminals. I was bailing out murderers. I was bailing out people that should not be walking amongst our community. And once I decided that I was going to do what in my heart was best to live on, like it was crazy. So I got pregnant and I was doing Dance to Fit already at Power Up Nutrition. I had been there since January of 2020. And I got pregnant in April 2020. So 3 months of just dance. So I only had a little taste of it, just a little taste of doing this on the side, right? I was just got certified. I was teaching 2 classes a week, like nothing crazy. But I loved it. I loved being there. And when I got pregnant, I got put on bed rest, which was really hard for me because I'm high energy. So I had to not work out. I still had to work, but light duty. And it was hard because my job did not go by the light duty. I actually ended up having to quit on the spot because I was there at 2 a.m. by myself, pregnant, in a high strung situation that I shouldn't have been in.
Okay, we have to take a quick break for me to tell you about the Dew Skin Tinted Moisturizer from Beauty Counter. I am obsessed with it. In fact, I think obsessed is kind of an understatement because I've been using it every single day for like the last 4 months. It's the perfect makeup but no makeup kind of in between moisturizer with 20 SPF. It has that good see-through hydrating coverage, but it doesn't have full coverage like a foundation. I have been loving it. It feels so good. It makes my morning routine so much faster and simpler, and I feel so much more alive and awake and rejuvenated throughout the day. And honestly, it helps remind me to put on sunscreen daily on my face because if my moisturizer doesn't have SPF in it, I'm probably not going to put SPF on my skin in the morning. Not because I don't want to, it's just like sometimes I forget all the steps. So I love that I can combine moisturizer with coverage and SPF all inside the Dew Tinted Moisturizer. So I use a number 4. You're going to want to choose a number that works best for your skin tone. But for those of you that, have followed me on Instagram, you can see my skin tone. You can kind of compare a little bit, and you can also take a skin quiz to figure out exactly what coverage, color, tint works best for you. So you'll be able to do that in case you want a little bit more help. So how do you get this product and how do you get it at a discount? I know you're wondering. So the code is clean for all 20 at checkout for 20% off your entire first purchase at Beauty Counter. And you're going to shop at beautycounter.com/London Souza. That's Beauty Counter, BeautyCounter.com/LUNDENSOUZA. And you can shop there using your code CLEANFORALL20. That's CLEANFORALL20 for 20% off at checkout for your first purchase. So go ahead and grab that. It's perfect for your everyday morning hydrating, sun protecting, rejuvenating, brightening skincare routine. You're going to love it. Grab yours today.
So I had to quit on the spot. And that was the moment that I never went back. I kept my business going throughout my whole entire pregnancy. I worked out my whole entire pregnancy, got the okay from my doctor, and still doing it. So.
And so you got a taste before, and then you had your child, and then you just decided like, okay, this is going to be full time. I'm going to dance every day. I'm going to dance every day.
I'm going to dance every day. I'm going to do what I love every day and see what happens. Because I was already making an income from it. So I already kind of had, an idea of what it could look like if I went full on. Like full on. Like, no, drop everything you do, hit to fit, dance. I just went all out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that to me too. You were like, I was already like doing well by not trying, but you were like, oh, this is not my full-time attention. Like if I put my Mallory energy and focus like towards that and like make that my full-time thing, there's no way I won't be able to, increase in a way that would just, blow my other job in terms of time ownership and just like treatment and enjoyment out of the water. Right.
Right.
Have you always believed in yourself like that? Because not everybody is like, oh yeah, I can just leave and jump and like be okay with that. Did you have to like channel parts of you that you have done hard shit before? Was a little bit of like, oh, okay, I'm just going to do it because I can't not do it. Did you feel like, no, I kind of got this and I'm just going to figure it out? Like, what was the internal Mallory happening with mom Mallory, wife Mallory, self Mallory?
I think it was all those things that you just said. I think you go through lots of different processes, you get down on yourself. You have to lift yourself back up. It's a lot of self-belief. Yes. trusting in God, a lot of different things. Yeah, it's in a lot of focus. It's making sure you show up every single day, right? I mean, right, Lunden, you know
Mhm.
how it is. You hustle.
Yeah.
It's just being
Mhm.
yourself too. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I had that hustle in me from day one. I don't know.
Yeah. Did you learn it from someone? Did you see it on TV? Did you like go to a seminar and be like, oh, or just do you feel like you always had it? I don't know you without it, but I've only known you since we were like, yeah, 15, 14, 13. I mean, whatever, you start high school.
Yeah, I guess my mom. I mean, that's the only person that
Oh,
I can say that I look up to, my mom. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Cool. I know sometimes there's just like moments where we're just like, yeah, where did that come from? Or have I always had that? There's some things like, I just feel like, yeah, from my dad and my mom. And I think you said like the hustle. And for me, it's like, yeah, like the consistency. It's like you just can't not do it and you can't not show up day in and day out. And then when you do that, you see the outcome. And like you said, I was putting X amount of energy. So if I put this amount of energy in hours and whatever, like I can actually create a schedule, time, all of that. And I just wonder, yeah, like for some people, they're like, oh, I've always had it. For some people, they're like, no, it's not in me at all. And I had to really try and like teach myself these skills or build that motivation muscle. Like, everyone's different. I feel like we're all kind of built in a great way with like a different blueprint. And so I'm just, yeah, understanding yours, which I think is so cool.
Yeah, and I think too, what helped me too is, working for the bail company. I was alone. You're solo. You're not. Nobody's by you telling you what to do. You're by yourself. So working for 12 hours, 16 hours by yourself, you don't. You have to do the work. Like, you know what I mean. You have to be consistent and organized and that kind of thing. So I think that kind of those years. And I also, worked I worked a lot of jobs, London. I
Mhm.
worked so many jobs.
Same.
I was
Same.
right. And, I was a sales associate or a store manager at Rainbow. I, worked at the courthouse. Like I was always working. And I think those different type of jobs just make you learn different skills. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's where that hustle comes from too, just
Yeah.
doing all that kind of fun stuff.
Cool. Yeah. Then having appreciation for those previous experiences, even if they were kind of shitty and you were alone
Right.
or at different times, but you learn that skill set and you learn what you would do and also what you wouldn't do. Right. Like I think from doing different things and exploring different avenues, you're like, oh yeah, I would do that. Or like, I wouldn't, ever do that. Or this taught me this skill or this, and so it's cool to acknowledge the learnings from sometimes, I don't know, shitty experiences
No,
or
I think that's what
things like
makes
that.
us though too, right? It
Mhm.
makes us
Mhm.
grow is those crappy experiences or the great ones,
Mhm.
that's who makes us. And
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely. So
Mhm. You do a lot. I see like your clients will check in with you on social media or Instagram and like they'll be walking or doing their thing on vacation or somewhere else and like checking in or maybe like whatever, like social media stuff. You run a lot of challenges. You keep a vibe in the group. You have kind of that connection with them, like in and out of this fitness space. Do you feel like that part comes naturally to you too? Do you feel like people is your thing? No.
no,
Okay.
I
So
feel
that's
like
an area you
sometimes,
had to
and I tell my clients this, I'm very real about this. How do you feel when you go through the drive-through at McDonald's sometimes? Right? Like
go.
that's
Mhm.
I do that. I've gone through the drive-through at McDonald's, right? I mean, that's real life. And I feel like I'm like, "Oh my God, can I believe I'm doing this right now?" And then I'm like, "I'm human. It's okay." But it's like, yeah, I when I don't eat healthy or when I mess up on my diet, I feel like, "Oh my gosh, I'm a fraud.
Mhm.
This is horrible. I'm not doing my job right." And that had to be like, "It's okay, Mallory. Like you can have the ice cream one time for cake." You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's okay. So that part was hard for me at first, I think, was you know, um not doing the exercises or whatever, not staying true to the routine sometimes. And
Like being the imperfect trainer was like
yes,
weird to you.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
I had that too. I always for like pretty much most of the time I didn't know it until I realized it, like it wasn't like, I don't know how you felt. Like, I mean, maybe there was, these feelings or emotions, but it was like, I didn't realize it until like how kind of heavy it was, to like, until I was like, wait, you can like be the way you are and miss things or be on or off or here or there or on track or off, however describe it. Like, but you can still be the one that's like instructing and dancing every day and doing the thing and being the one that has the group. And I think, imposter syndrome is like what you described. It's like, oh, but if I don't check all the boxes, then am I or am I not? It's like, well, we kind of get to decide. And I think the more that we share those struggles or say that with our clients, like, oh yeah, that feeling when you go through McDonald's, I remember I was there this weekend or whatever, it's like
Right.
we all have those moments. And I think the way we navigate them and also like what we make it mean about ourselves and the way we treat ourselves, beyond said decisions can be much more powerful than just that or not. But imposter syndrome, like I feel, I don't know. Sometimes I go through phases too, where I'm like, who am I to be able to do this or talk about this or whatever? And that's kind of, I feel like a little bit of what you described. Do you, I always say like, remind you who the fuck you are. Do you remind you who the fuck you are? Do you have people around you who are like cheering you on? Like when you have that feeling of like, do you just share it? Do you call on your peeps? Do you just like have a gut check moment for yourself to be like, hey, like you're here for a reason. This is like, what do you do to bring yourself back into like, I got this and I'm going to keep going and like forward?
I think that's who I am, where I'm able to pull myself back onto track.
Yeah.
And I maybe, I don't know why, but I feel like, because I notice my clients, they can get off track really easily and not pull themselves back in, and I'm like, whoa. No. We get off track, we get back on, we can't stay off track forever, So, I feel like that's me, I'm able to get right back on track, which is a good thing for my business and for what kind of line of work I'm in. Cause I'm noticing my clients, I'm like, no, back on track. So yeah. I think that's a good thing about myself is that I'm able to stay pretty much on track, but a little slip up here and there is no.
Yeah. You're like accountable to self. So it makes you super good accountability buddy. And your energy is fun and contagious. So it's like, it would be easy to miss your class, not miss and not come, but like miss because you missed it because you didn't come.
Yeah.
What about kids, working out, dancing with kids, before kids? What have you learned about your body and fitness and movement, becoming a mom, being a mom?
So when people say it's harder to lose weight after you have kids, they're not lying. That is a true fact. It's just a different experience. So, and everybody's different. So, some people might lose weight right away, right when they start breastfeeding or whatever the case may be. Everybody is different. So, luckily, it took me a while to get back, but I worked really hard. People are like, oh my gosh, you look amazing. I wish I looked like you. Okay. Yes. But I work out, a lot, I'm very conscious of my diet. So I don't like people to compare other people to anybody, but, I think, definitely that, with the whole, body changing. And, I think I love my body now that I'm a mom. Like, I think I'm really in love with my body. I'm happy where I'm at and I love my baby. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
How old do you have just one kid or two kids?
So Jade, she's my stepdaughter. She's 13.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I have my son and he's my baby. He's over here somewhere. That's Blake. He's,
how do you,
15.
How old is he? 15 months.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you like already and plan on sharing like fitness, nutrition, health, well-being with them in a way that like, I don't know, maybe it's a combination of what you did get when you were younger and what you didn't, and maybe what you've learned now and like where we are just in the times and research now. Like, how do you parent health and wellness?
Well, that's a hard one, especially with the older one, because she's already kind of stuck in her ways. But for the most part, like she used to love the talkies and and she's just, that's not happening. But yeah, for him, it's a lot easier because he's younger and I'm able to start fresh. So, we do a lot of exercise already. He's 1 and he's walking faster than I am. And he's running me over. He's stronger than I am. But we do a lot of workouts, just like hanging out, playtime, a lot of vegetables and steamed vegetables and making sure he's getting all of his good protein and yeah, just eating healthy and fresh.
Yeah. So with the older one, just like eliminating some of the red flags, like literally the red flags, the Takis, but yeah. And then not trying to be like, I don't know, not that you said this, but I would just think get rid of some of the really important things to remove, but then being kind of flexible based on what they like and kind of what they're going to eat and feel good having to. And then, I feel like if everybody could eat like a baby, we'd be great.
Right. Yeah. But he loves cheese right now, so I'm in trouble. So he's been eating lots of cheese. Every time he's like, oh, he sees cheese, he wants it.
That's what he wants.
Yeah.
I know. Cheese is so good. Cheese is really good though.
Yeah. It's bad for you.
And I went through a phase where not really by choice, but mostly because of the food availability. So I was vegan for a while because I worked for a raw vegan chef in college. And so I didn't have meat and dairy for a really long time. And since I just kind of incorporate it here and there. And so with cheese, I'm like, it's one of those things where getting down with the carne asada quesadilla is not on my menu, but the bomb goat cheese with herbs that I had yesterday on some crackers with what I was eating was so good. So I feel like I get it because cheese is so wonderful. And for me, it can be really triggering for skin issues and mood things with some hormonal issues. And I just feel like, it can be really inflammatory for me in high quantities. Mm-hmm. But I've had this dance with cheese over the last 10, 12 years, if you will, of none for a long time. And then just a little bit in bits. But I'm with you in terms of just being moderation of dairy. Yeah.
Everything.
Everything in moderation. Do you feel like that?
Yes, I do. I do believe that. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Except water.
80-20, except for water.
Except for water.
Yeah, just drink lots of water within reason. Do you do you tell yourself that everything in moderation? Is that something that's helped you stay on track as a mom? Do you have 80-20 in your brain? What lives in your brain that reminds you of everything in moderation, just keep going? Do you have an internal dialogue? Do you tell yourself something in your head? Hey, really quick, I want to interrupt the podcast for just a minute to tell you about one of my favorite supplements for hair, skin, nails, digestive, and gut health. And that is Snap Supplements Super Greens with collagen. Now, if you're following me on social media, you've probably seen me post about this a bunch because honestly, this product tastes amazing and it's jam-packed with nutrients, like I said, to support healthy hair, skin, and nails. It helps support detoxification, a healthy immune system, and there's even probiotics in there for a healthy gut. It's non-GMO, no sugar added, soy-free, grass-fed collagen, and every scoop is going to give you 7 grams of protein. And this is why I love it, because it's not like a protein shake. It's just a scoop of powder. It tastes amazing. I put it in water, or if I want more hydration, I'll put it in coconut water and mix it up. And it's like having a nice, refreshing beverage that's packed with a bunch of super greens and protein. So what I'm super excited about is that for listening to the podcast, you'll get this discount here, nowhere else, but for listening to the podcast. You can save 25% off on all your Snap supplement purchases, including the super greens with collagen. And you do that by using code Lunden25 at checkout. That's LUNDEN 25. LUNDEN 25 to get 25% off at checkout. You can shop on snapsupplements.com or you can shop on my website, lifelikelondon.com/supplements. And you'll see there's already an additional 10% taken off. But you, because you're a podcast listener, you're going to get 25% off when you use the code Lunden25 at checkout. LUNDEN 25 at checkout to get your Snap supplements, super greens, and collagen, and all your Snap supplements for 25% off. Now, let's get back to the show.
I can't eat too much. So the last time I overate, I literally thought I had food poisoning, and all I had was nachos. I had cheese, nachos, and we went to bingo for my grandma's 101st birthday. So she's 101, and I was having a great time, right? And
I'm going to get the nacho cheese for grandma's
no
101st.
alcohol at this casino, by the way. So I had no alcohol, just cheese. And I literally, in the morning, I'm texting everybody that was with, and I'm like, oh my God, are you guys okay? Because I'm like throwing up, other end, like it was no good. And I literally thought I had food poisoning. Literally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you don't have the enzymes to break down like heavy dairy or meat products or other things, like you can feel like you have food poisoning. I remember the first time I ever ate meat, like it was like a steak after I hadn't eaten meat in years. And I just decided a filet was going to be a good option. It smelled good. And I think I ate the whole thing, and I was barfing up the whole night, just felt like death. I felt like I had food poisoning for 2 days. And so, yeah. And I think what you kind of mentioned too is like, I don't know, maybe it's from being on some ends of the extremes or being so meticulous about diet and da, 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 da. Now I just really feel like it is about feeling. It's like, I don't want to feel full and like death. I just want to feel energized. I want to feel like the foods I'm eating are like delicious, nutritious, like high fiber, like going to give me the nutrients I need, mainly for my brain too, my cognitive ability. I mean, Lord knows I fried me some brain cells. So I need to like be on point. And I feel like nutrition really helps. Hydration, like you mentioned too, like, you know, alcohol, if you will, having fun, like just as long as I stay hydrated and I'm like really eating on point in a way, like I really like Mexican food. I'm going to go out and get me some Mexican food. There's certain things, you know, but as long as I stay, like you said, within this like kind of balance, if you will, that's kind of this internal knowing of like, I don't want to get there. And so, yeah, there'll be times where I'm out and about, and I like it now because I really do find myself enjoying myself and not needing to be like, oh yeah, I need this or I need this. And sometimes there's moments, right, of course, where we're like, oh yeah, I overdid it. But for the most part, same as you, where it's like, yeah, I'd rather just enjoy what I enjoy and feel good. Because if not, my body just likes it, and it's going to really tell me when it doesn't like it. Do you feel that way too?
Absolutely. And Lunden, I work out. Okay, so I already did three workouts this morning, and then I have 3 more tonight. So I can't not eat healthy. When I don't eat healthy, I feel it. Like I can't work out as well. I can't teach my classes as properly. So it's very, very important. Diet is so important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or you like, I remember teaching classes too, you could get like acid reflux if you ate something or you were moving too soon, and you're like, oh, I just like, you want it to be like timing wise and just energy wise, feeling good. And like you're fueled up, but not like so full. And I remember that feeling of sometimes, being in between. I love your schedule, by the way, of like how you've kind of bookended your day, if you will. Is that like perfect for your lifestyle to have those classes in the morning and the classes in the evening? Are you just like so stoked with what you've created for your life?
Yes. For me and my husband and my family, for Blake and I, he's 1 year old. He gets to be with me all day long. And then at night he's with my husband. And in the morning he's with my husband. So he gets to be with dad, and then he gets to be with me during the day. And I get the weekends off now. Lunden, I didn't get weekends off for years. I used to work lots of weekends. So for me, like just having Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off is like crazy. It's amazing. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Did you think that was possible, or were you always just like, I think about that sometimes. I'm like, I never want to live for the weekend. Like, I don't want to have to be like, you're just like, this is my schedule. I create it. And like, did you ever think it was possible to just be like, yeah, my weekends are my own. Like I get to do, I don't need to, worry about something else. Did you think that was possible? Did you always tell yourself like,
I feel like this is a dream. Like I never thought that I would be able to, create my own schedule, because sometimes I do work on weekends, obviously, but I'm doing the things that I love. It doesn't feel like work. So it never feels like work. And the fact that I get to do what I love every day, that it really matters.
Yeah. Do you have any like current I mean, either or fitness or like personal development, whatever goals that you're working on right now, like maybe physical
Stretching.
fitness or just in general. Oh, stretching. Hell yeah. Right.
Stretching.
Cool.
Stretching more. I used to stretch a lot before, before I was teaching all these classes and this fitness coach or whatever. So I used to stretch all the time. I used to love to stretch. And then now I stretch, a little bit with my clients and stuff, but not that good deep stretch. So I've been trying to take that 5 to 10 minutes just to stretch on my own and like be within my own thoughts too, and just kind of have that own time to myself. It really matters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been trying to do. Yeah.
I know. It's like, I feel like after 30, I'm like, the more I feel it in my hips, or in, like I really have to get my quads and my hips, and I feel the stagnance more when I don't I feel it deeper now. Like if there's, one day of not moving or 2 days, maybe I really feel like motion is lotion. This physical therapist I knew would say that. I'm like, yeah, that's totally true, especially now. And so, my boyfriend, he has a dog, and sometimes, when we're in town, the dog will be here, and I love it because she helps me like get outside and walk a lot, as I'm sure kids do. You're like chasing after them, doing all the things. And I'm like, yeah, this is good. Like self accountability through like an animal needing to go out and wanting to be like a good dog owner or like babysitter, if you will. And it's so helpful to stay moving because you don't realize it until you feel it. And then you're like, oh yeah. Reminder.
I like that. Motion is lotion. No, I like that so much because when I sit after class with him, or if we're not moving, that's why I have to move all day long, because if I sit, I get like stiff. I'm like, oh, I better stretch. So that's why I have to stretch. Yeah.
Same. Yeah. This physical therapist, I worked at a physical therapy office for a while, in lieu of what we said, where we did a lot of things, for like 5 months. It was a fun little moment. They were super cool. And I learned a lot from one of the physical therapists, and he would tell a lot of his clients, motion is lotion, motion is lotion. And then one time I said it, he's like, where'd you get that from? I was like, I got it from you. He's like, oh yeah. Like I quote you all the time now. Cause I think that just is a good reminder. I think it's sometimes nice to have like little things you can tell yourself when you don't want to stretch or you don't want to do it. It's like motion is lotion or whatever. It helps me be reminded that I don't want to be crackly in some way.
Yeah.
I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
I do core values with my clients. That's like a big thing that I work with my clients, is not only like, what are you going to do, but like, why are you doing it? And what are like values that you kind of live by? And when I was doing mine this year, just kind of revising them a little bit, one of my values was honesty, but I changed it to hella honest. So one of my core values is hella honest. And when I was thinking about it, I thought about you, because I always try to think of like a person I know, or maybe like a mentor I knew, or like a character I watched on a movie, or just something that elicits like a visual of like a person and a feeling. And because of what I mentioned in the beginning of our conversation, when I went to your class and you were like, oh yeah, as soon as I just, led from a place of like from my heart and just being me and knowing I love to dance and this is what I was going to do, it just like worked. And when I like channeled my vision there, I just kind of went after it, and I just like was consistent and just kept going. And so when I think of hella honest, I think of you, which is interesting and cool.
Gosh,
I really like it.
So sweet.
And hella is like the NorCal thing, I guess we say, or Central California is like hella cool or hella this. And we said that a lot growing up. And so because Mallory and I are from the same area, it just kind of suits. And like, of course, I don't know, I don't have my core values posted anywhere other than places that I get to see and look at. But do you have core values, or like a word, or just like something that's like a mantra? Maybe it's for yourself or for your clients, or a theme, or something that reminds you of like why you came to do it.
For me, I try to wake up with gratitude every morning. I speak to the Lord every single morning. I pray. That's how I start my day. But do you know the rules for Dance to Fit that I go over every class?
You probably went over them, but I was just at one, so refresh me.
Okay. So our number one rule is to have fun. Number 2, there's no judging towards ourselves, no judging towards anybody else. Number 3, your only competition is yourself. And number 4, you're going to bring good vibes. So
that's what you say to yourself. That's good. I love that. I'm pretty sure you did say that. That's probably where I got the thing where I heard you say no judgment to yourself or others, because you always hear that in like yoga or other classes where there's mindfulness, but I like the gentle, fun, Mallory kind of mindfulness you bring to that space too with Dance to Fit and Hit to Fit. Cool. Thank you so much for being here. This was great. I could talk to you forever. You're such a I feel like, a lot of time has passed since you and I have hung out regularly. And of course in school, you're like, it's just kind of like when you work a 9-to-5 job or something, when you see those people a lot, and a lot of time had passed. But then since you and I have gotten a chance to reconnect, I'm like, oh yeah, it just reminds me of like that feeling where we had then, where it was just like, we were having fun. We were dancing every day, right? We were just like, having fun, exploring who we were, connecting with others, like kind of having fun in the process and navigating it all. And so it's been fun to like find familiarness in our reconnection, and then also newness, because of course you've grown and are doing some great things. So thank you so much for being here and for your time. Tell us where we can connect with you and find you, and any last words?
Come check out Dance to Fit. We're in Atwater at Power Up Nutrition. Your first class is free. Dance to Fit with Mallory on Instagram. And thank you so much for having me. It was an honor. I truly appreciate it. And I loved talking with you, Lunden. You're a pleasure to speak with.
Same. I'll put all the links and the link to connect with Mallory if you want to take a class in real life in the description. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Lunden.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Self-Love and Sweat, the podcast. Hey, do me a favor. Wherever you're listening to this podcast, give us a review. This really helps a lot. And share this with a friend. I'm only one person, and with your help, we can really spread the message of self-love and sweat and change more lives all around the world. I'm Lunden Souza, reminding you that you deserve a life full of passion, presence, and purpose, fueled by self-love and sweat. This podcast is a Hit Spot Austria production.